tier, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
You'll make yourself cry.
Yeah. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Megan, 1 tier, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
With a camera trained in front of her, crying. 1 tier, left eye, go.
Hello, my queens. It is Her Royal Highness Jenny here today. Her Royal Highness and Prince Bucky coming to join you. Yes, this is one of my thrifting finds. For those of you who know I love thrifting. I got this at Goodwill for $5.99. Yes, it's a full-on hoodie. I'm going to look on my way home when I stop at Bucky's and see how much these cost. I would not be surprised if this is a $40, maybe a $50 sweatshirt. No kidding. It was like brand new. We were joking the other day. I was talking to somebody else about Bucky's attire because I have a Bucky's mug, but I use it as a conversation starter when I'm greeting at church because the colors match exactly the welcome t-shirt. So it's it just blends really well together. But then people are like, oh, Bucky's, have you been there? Where do you go to Bucky's? Because we don't have Bucky's in Ohio. They're building one, but it's not on a freeway I would ever go on. So I'll never go to it. But now that there's one, maybe they'll put another one. That would be great. Anyway, so I am in Tennessee. I am working on turning this white box into a townhome that will be a home away from home, to be down here in Tennessee to visit my grandson, who's coming next month. And I'll be back here in a couple weeks. I plan on going home Tuesday. So I'll do the live stream tomorrow for those of you who are Sister Wives fans. But this is revenge time, my princesses and my queens. Oh, I am thrifting galore. Last minute notice. I honestly didn't think I was live streaming today at all. And I didn't think I was going to do any live streaming tomorrow. The plan was to leave and go home today. And then right now, this evening, I was going to be at my daughter's house, spending the night with her, my other daughter, spending the night with her and her husband. And then I was going to leave on Tuesday morning to finish my trip home, which means, or Monday, I was going to leave, which meant I would have missed that live stream too. But things changed. Temu still has not delivered my hangers. I'm giving it one more day. And then my poor daughter is going to have to just drive out here because this is 30 minutes away. But she's going to have to just drive out here if they get delivered after that and let them into the house. To which she said, can you just send things to my house? I will. It was a local, it wasn't even come from China. It was not a come from China thing. I paid the extra shipping on it because it was considered local delivery. Anything from the United States, you don't get for free like you get the stuff from China for free. But you don't have to wait a whole month. Well, I ordered it like a week and a half ago. What the heck? It said it was still in California. But then they said this couch was in California too, and it arrived the next day. So that's my hope, is that it's going to arrive the next day. Because it did say, does not give good tracking updates or something like that. I don't remember what it said on Temu. I'm like, are you joking? Okay. Too much about me. I apologize. Y'all are here to talk about Harry and Meghan. And so that was my explanation as to why the last post, because I needed to get my son-in-law over here. I just had a lot of last minute things to do. I still had to hang the curtain rod. I just had a lot of things to still do before I came back. And then that table that I just got, which I'm going to post on my Wise and Wonderful channel when I'm starting to collect videos on that. on my thrifting finds. Yes, it's going to be on Wise and Wonderful. As a whole bunch of stuff. It's just going to be random. It's going to be things from somebody who's wise and wonderful. Again, my son thought Senior Perspective was a great name. He thought Wise and Wonderful was a good name. AI picked it, actually. I gave a description of what I wanted, and it gave me 10 names. I didn't like most of them. But Wise and Wonderful, I thought, that's fun. It's fun. It's whimsical. So my Wise and Wonderful channel will have all my thrifting finds, and there's a table over there. Heavy. They ended up putting it in my car. I managed to get it out of the back of the hatch when the car was in the garage and pulled out and jimmied down onto cardboard on the ground. That's it. And the legs are removed. Still that heavy. It's wood, solid wood, which is what I was looking for. So I'm going to be pushing these glasses up a lot because look what I did today. And y'all know I only have about 50 pairs of these at home in Ohio. I don't think I brought any. I always bring like multiple colors with me to change with my outfits. I didn't this time. I think partly because I was rushing as I was packing and trying to get things done, and I thought pretty much everything was in neutral tones because I had like a olive green nails at the time. And so I just grabbed everything that was just sort of earth tony. And I figured these are black with brown and they'll go with everything. It's a good idea unless you break them. So this is my glasses now. I just broke them today. I'm going home tomorrow, so we're in good shape. And my sunglasses have readers in them. So if it's sunny, nobody will even know. But if it's not sunny, this is how it was when I went to dinner. Because I took my daughter and my son-in-law out to dinner this evening because he came over and brought the tabletop. I brought the legs in, even though they're wrought iron, they're heavy. I could deal with that, but this tabletop, I couldn't do it. So he brought it in, and then we got it set up. Predominantly he did. Got it set up and, got all the bolts in and got it all set up. So I took him to dinner. So I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to live stream. But yet here we are, especially because it's an hour. I have to do this like an hour early. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're here. Gosh, I'm rambling. I apologize. Janice, good to see you. You were the first one here. I saw you were here right away before, well, look, 6:30. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it said 6:30? You were here before 6:30. Maybe that's 6:30 Eastern time. No, it wasn't 6:30 Eastern time. I don't know why that says 6:30, Janice, because you were here as soon as this a while ago. Nadine, hello. Sarah, good to see you. Anyone else? I know there's a bunch of people here, but that's okay if you're not commenting. You don't have to comment in the comments. Just watch. We have a lot of people that aren't here for the live stream, but watch it afterwards. I find that interesting. Why do I find that interesting? I almost never watch anyone's live streams while they're live. Unless I stumble upon it, like I happen to put on YouTube and then they're live streaming. I'm like, oh, good. But most of the time, I am the rewatch committee myself for other people's channels, so I understand. But it's good to have you all here. Lovely. Oh, you've never been to a Buc-ee's? They do have everything. It's like a small, I'm trying to think of what, they kind of have a little bit of everything, but it's like no, it is like a gas station, but it's like a gas station on steroids. I was going to say like it's a small Walmart or something, like a small Kmart. But that is misleading because it does look like it's the size of a gas station, but a very large one. It's like what's a big gas station? Not Speedway. What's the other one that I can't think of the name of it? They sell food. It's like made to order food at their place. And so it's a little bit larger inside. Can't think of the name of it. At any rate, it's like take one of those and multiply it by 4. So it's big. It's not as big as a department store, but it's big. They do have a lot of everything. And it's very interesting because everything is Buc-ee's branded. So that's what we were talking about the other day. Like, why do you want something Buc-ee's branded? I'm like, well, I like my mug because I use it when I greet at church because it matches my shirt. It has yellow and it has red in it. Actually, I don't think it does have yellow, but it has the red. It has a hint of red. And then it's black and white. So it's black, white, red. The yellow is the extra. Okay. Anyway, here we go. So yeah, The candy's all the food is Bucky's branded. Like everything has got Bucky's brand on it. You can get a pool noodle, it'll say Bucky's on it. Like Bucky's everything. And then they make a lot of food fresh there. Oh, their brisket. They cook it up. You can smell it in the middle of the store. They have the big roasters and they're chopping it up. And they all, what is it like? Something's on the board. And they all like, and they all scream. When you walk in, they go, welcome to Bucky's. You get a lot of greeting. It's very nice. Yeah, nice little model that they have there, down there in Texas. It's finally branching out to the rest of the country. So there's one in Tennessee, and it's right on the way here. Unfortunately, it's only like an hour and a half north of Nashville. So usually I need gas before then. And so I don't always stop on the way down. But on the way back, I'll let my tank go down, and then I'll stop there to gas up for the rest of the trip home. Okay, that was, again, more than you needed to know. There you go. Hello, everyone. Living an Eclectic Life. Welcome. Glad you're here. And we are going to read chapter 41 called Victory today. Yes, we are. Well, are we reading the whole thing? Oh, it's short. Oh, yeah. We're going to get through this. It's going to be very short. Oh, gosh, it's short. How long is the next one? We'll do 2. Let's get going. 2 chapters, Victory and then Revenge. Victory. From the outset on the 9th of November, 2021, the 3 appeal judges in London showed little interest in the arguments offered on the newspaper's behalf by Andrew Caldicott, I think is his name, to allow a trial. Excuse me, right before we live streamed, I had a little Debbie Swiss cake roll. 2, there's 2 in a pack. Single serving in my world. Okay. Leading the 3 judges was Geoffrey Voss, the master of the rolls. He had never shown in his career particular concern for the freedom of the press. Alongside him, Victoria Sharp was a renowned trenchant critic of the media. Early in her career, she had eagerly represented the press tycoon Robert Maxwell to crush journalists' criticism. More telling, in a previous judgment, Sharp had undermined a critical statutory protection of the media in defamation cases. She was overruled by the Supreme Court. As a class, Britain's judges were unsympathetic to the Mail newspaper, whose 2016 headline, Enemies of the People, had damned the judiciary for alleged prejudice against Brexit. And in parentheses, it says 2 judges had declared that the referendum in favor of Brexit could only be implemented with Parliament's approval. In a hung Parliament, getting that vote was unrealistic, end quote. Or end parenthesis. In Meghan's trial case, the 3 judges' lack of sympathy for the Mail newspaper was apparent from their impatient expressions as Caldicott outlined his case. Quote, "You're wasting court time," end quote, was the impression the judges gave. Just as Meghan was visiting a U.S. military base in New Jersey as part of her royal duties. Do you remember those, Meghan? Not so much anymore. Caldicott spelled out the importance of Jason Knopf's statement. He argued that Judge Warby had been misled by Meghan's misleading statement to the court. He also showed how Warby had ignored some of Thomas Markle's text messages. The judge was wrong, Caldicott said, to deny the Mail the right to cross-examine Meghan and produce the testimony of the Palace Four in a trial. The judges openly dismissed Caldicott's argument about the importance of Jason Knopf's description of his multiple discussions with Meghan. That's unfortunate. The judges preferred to latch on to Meghan's excuses for her misleading the court in her signed statement. Quote, I had forgotten about the email exchanges I had with Mr. Knopf, wrote Meghan in a new, contrite statement. And after meeting with the authors, she continued, when I approved the passage, I did not have the benefit of seeing these emails, and I apologize to the court for the fact that I had not remembered these exchanges at the time. I had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court. End quote. I doubt that. Why do I not believe her? The judges accepted Meghan's explanation. Where are these judges? Her misleading statement, said Voss, was, quote, at best an unfortunate lapse of memory, end quote. They like her. The newspaper lost its appeal. According to the judges, Meghan was empowered to determine the narrative, and the media were not allowed to challenge her truth in a trial. Meghan's right of privacy was more important than press freedom and the public interest. The newspaper would not be given the chance to defend itself. I think that she probably had more protection in England than she's going to have in America. I don't know. Inevitably, the media's reaction to the judgment was critical. How could she have forgotten her exchanges with Knopf? Many asked. She was guilty of a falsehood and lies. No other claimant in an English court had ever escaped a trial and justice because of an unfortunate lapse of memory. Yeah, maybe it's not being in London. Maybe it's just they liked her. Many were outraged that once again, the rich and powerful had won. Insiders said the outstanding victor was Judge Warby, protected by his fellow judges. The victim was Thomas Markle. He had no redress for the defamation published by People magazine. Markle's die at 80, he said. I've got just 3 years to live. I'll never see my daughter again or my grandchildren. Oh, Markle's die at 80. That means in general, in their family, people would die at age 80. The Markles, the family with the last name Markle tend to die at age 80. Okay. Meghan Markle was euphoric. Of course she was. She won. She got her way. This is a victory, not just for me, but for anyone who has ever felt scared to stand up for what's right. She accused the Mail on Sunday of dragging the case out and twisting the facts to generate more headlines. Quote, a model that rewards chaos above truth. She added, in the nearby 3 years since this began, I have been patient in the face of deception, intimidation, and calculated attacks. These harmful practices don't happen once in a blue moon. They are a daily fact that divides us, and we all deserve better. Yabba dabba dabba do. You know what she's trying to say. She urged a change of law. Things aren't going well for me. Let's change the law. While this win is precedent-setting, what matters most is that we are now collectively brave enough to reshape a tabloid industry that conditions people to be cruel and profits from the lies and pain that they create. The Times in London criticized the Duchess for attacking the media. It is improper to exploit the platform granted by hereditary privilege, in her case through marriage, to press a political case. Okay, I agree with the Times. I don't know anything about these newspapers, but I'm like this. Okay. A substantial argument against the British media and in Meghan's defense, I apologize. Sometimes the glasses are making the words like kind of sway as it like slides up. Okay. A substantial argument against the British media and in Meghan's defense was written for New York Magazine by somebody's name, whose last name is Noble, an associate professor of gender studies and African studies at UCLA, the director of the Center for Critical Internet Inquiry, and the author of Algorithms of Oppression, How Search Engines Reinforce Racism. She wrote a whole book on that? The author of, I'm assuming it's a book, maybe it was just an article. Noble asserted that Meghan had been targeted by an unprecedented sexist and racist Twitter campaign fueled by harassment and hate. Black women, she wrote, were relentlessly targeted online by misogyny. It's misogyny with an N-O-I-R at the end. Misogyny. Oh, that's the end of the sentence. Black women, she wrote, were relentlessly targeted online by misogyny. God, I don't know that word either. Misogynistic men? Is that what they're trying to say? Okay, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to read this woman's paper if this is okay, but targeted by unbiased. That was Meghan's words? She doesn't know what that word means. Somebody told her what to write. The attack on a Black woman suing for her privacy and winning is too much for the tabloids to bear, wrote Noble. She did not mention in her article that her studies were partly financed by the Archwell Foundation to illuminate the problems of inequity and structural racism. Well, that's interesting. Write an article that and this is the topic and the direction I want you to go, and then quote it as if it's fact. It's like this whole cyclical thing of I'm in your pocket and then you're in mine and then I benefit you and you benefit me and I scratch your back and you scratch mine. It's a whole nother world, people. It's a whole nother world of wealth that I hear about and I read about, but I know not. Moving on. $4.99. Goodwill. So proud. Meghan's triumph was sealed by her appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres TV chat show. Both women, neighbors in Montecito, were united. My nose is tickling. Oh. Both women, neighbors in Montecito, were united by accusations of bullying. Both were also desperate to stay relevant for the American public. Yeah, because Ellen DeGeneres did a nosedive at the end of her career, unfortunately. All these interns are coming out saying how nasty she was and how awful it was to work for her. My daughter almost got an NBC internship too. She was in the final leg and she didn't get it. Good thing. She may have ended up, she wouldn't have handled bullying by Ellen very well. She's too fragile. Okay. Both were also desperate to stay relevant in the American public. In the celebrity economy, remarkable additional effort was required by middle-aged women to secure the publicity which kept their status at the top of the index. Do you notice a little dig in there that he refers to Meghan as a middle-aged woman? Ellen is a middle-aged woman, but I do believe that Meghan is younger than Ellen. By like a decade, I think. All right. Many, Meghan knew, disdained the fickle superficiality of maintaining one's celebrity. But since her childhood in ABC's studios, she had embraced that world. The trick was to avoid obsolescence by constantly refreshing her appeal. Fearing that her New York success 2 months earlier had been forgotten, Meghan agreed to an extraordinary subversion of her royal image. First, she appeared in the studio for an interview with DeGeneres, covering all of the very familiar milestones of her life. Next, dressed in an Oscar de la Renta top, Meghan left the studio and went into the street. What a woman. Instructed via the earpiece connected to DeGeneres, she was ordered to interact with market traders selling quartz crystals and hot sauces. "Let's get the spiciest. Let's get the hottest," screeched Meghan with eye-opening foolery. Ordered by DeGeneres to eat like a chipmunk, she chanted to the bemused traders, "Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy." I don't know what that means. The studio audience cheered. Viewers were baffled. "I'm feeling hot, hot, hot," shouted Meghan as she danced alone, obeying DeGeneres' order to squat and touch her nose while swinging from a baby's bottle. Swinging from a baby's bottle? No. Touch her nose while swinging from a baby's bottle. She intoned, "Mommy wants some milk." The studio audience was encouraged to cheer more. Viewers were even more perplexed. Her finale was to act like a cat. For 1 minute, she recited, "I'm a kitten. Meow, meow, meow." And that's the end of the chapter. Okay, so this is her like trying to reinvent herself and become relevant, and Ellen too. Ellen was known for bullying, but also guests, like making guests do things they don't want, scaring them, finding out what scared them, and then having that be on the show. And like if they're scared of a spider, she would have a spider fall down on their shoulder, and and they would just like want to piss their pants, and Ellen would laugh and laugh. She has a twisted sense of humor. That was the end of that chapter. It ended weird, didn't it? I thought it did. That was bizarre. Okay. All right. Oh, Wendy's here. Hello, Wendy. All right. Specific form of hatred, prejudice, and discrimination directed at Black women. Oh, misogynoir is a word that's specific to Black people. Okay. Never heard it before. That's the one thing I never liked about her show. I can't stand pranks. Me too. Listen, I was a huge fan of Ellen in the early years. I thought she was funny. I thought she was engaging, mostly funny. Like not a lot of comedians make good interviewers. Like they're not funny off the cuff. I felt like she just sort of had a natural comedic persona. But then she started doing all those weird bits and those weird games. She'd get those games from like Japan and that where, again, it was like bullying. It was like where you might have fallen into a pit of balls, but there could have been water in there. Like it was just, it's like it turned into Fear Factor. And I hated Fear Factor. I think I watched one episode, but I doubt I even watched the whole thing all the way through. It's not my thing. Watching people do things they don't want to do, it's upsetting to me. But then when they say, oh, they did it anyway, they volunteered to do it. Well, the people who volunteered to do it were desperate for money because there was a big money payout at the end. To me, that's even more sick. So you're now preying on people who are so desperate that they're going to do something they absolutely don't want to do because they're so down and out that they need the money. It's not right. Chapter 42, Revenge. The scene was now set for the final divorce between the Sussexes and the royal family. Harry fired the opening shots. His refusal to seek any reconciliation at Diana's memorial or fly over to London for Prince Philip's memorial service on the 29th of March 2022 confirmed that the Windsors of Montecito had no intention of rebuilding their relationship with the royal family, except on their own terms. Similarly, he appeared to be looking for an excuse not to fly to London for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration in June. I feel hiccups coming on. I apologize. Trying to stay it off ahead of time. Okay. Although the Queen had invited Harry and Meghan to join the nation's extravaganza, the couple appeared to seek reasons to avoid humiliation. As private citizens, they could not expect to be invited onto the Buckingham Palace balcony or ride in the carriages. Isolated on the periphery, the image would undermine their royal status in America. To forge a valid excuse, Harry applied to the High Court in London in order to compel them Harry applied to the High Court in London for an order to compel the Metropolitan Police to provide protection for himself during the visit or allow him to pay for police protection. Longest sentence in history. Predictably, his £400,000 case failed. As a private citizen, Harry was told he could not force the government to provide police protection. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. He showed no disappointment nor embarrassment that he would be visiting Holland for the Invictus Games in April. Why would he show embarrassment and disappointment? I'm not sure what that sentence has to do with the ones before. Any doubts about Harry's antagonism toward the country and family were dispelled by his stony silence after the Queen announced on Ascension Day that Camilla would be Britain's next queen. 17 years after their controversial marriage, Charles had persuaded his mother and a majority of Britons that Camilla should be crowned during his own coronation. Harry's refusal to acknowledge the Queen's decision foreshadowed the problems to come. Charles had good reason to fear that Harry's dislike of Camilla had been re-energized by Meghan. The Sussexes' suspicion that the Duchess of Cornwall had made racist comments about the unborn Archie had fueled their fearsome denunciation of the entire royal family. Did she? Was there any proof of that? There's a lot of suspicion. Did anyone ever come out and say that? I mean, is she racist? Do we know? Does anyone know? I don't follow them enough to know. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. Don't know. I'd like to know them. I know that there was the implication that William and Charles were part of that conversation, or conversations, according to Meghan, that were had. But Camilla wasn't part of that I had known, but maybe she was. Okay, I don't know. Thinking out loud, moving on. Charles got an inkling of the horrors to come in early 2022. 2 Sunday newspapers alleged that Charles had accepted £1.5 million from a Saudi billionaire businessman. His name ends with Mubarak. Bin Mafos. In questionable circumstances. The guy's got 4 names. Mafos had given the money to help maintain Charles's Scottish project, Dumfries House. I don't know that. All of you in London are familiar with all these terms, probably, in locations and properties and castle names and everything else that is just Greek to me. In return, Charles had met Mafaus in Scotland and Saudi Arabia, and then in 2016, in a private ceremony in Buckingham Palace, Charles had awarded the Saudi a CBE for charity. Okay, don't know what a CBE is, but he got some sort of award. Those transactions were not unusual in Charles's life. During over 30 years of fundraising for his charities, Charles had encouraged the rich to pay for access to himself. The unusual exception in the Mahfouz case is what followed in 2017. Ooh, do tell. What followed? During that year, Charles had not prevented his close aide, Michael Fawcett, from writing to the Saudi a compromising letter. After acknowledging the Saudis' financial gifts, Fawcett offered to support Mahfouz's application for British citizenship, and he pledged that Charles's office would attempt to augment the CBE awarded to Mahfouz into a knighthood or a KBE. I don't know what a KBE is either. If anybody knows, they can write it in the chat. Oh, right. That's right. Scobie had another version. He's like, I have no idea how the words got changed in that book. Didn't seem concerned about it at all. Boy, his defense of himself. That's right. It's all coming back to me, Michelle. So he named people. So he named Charles and Catherine. Oh, KBE is a knight of the British Empire. Okay. What was a CBE? Did you guys get that one? Something of the British Empire, obviously. Okay, so he wanted to be a KBE. Okay. I'm shocked that so there's no mention of Dingleberry, Charles's wife, the now queen, Camilla. There's no mention in his book about Camilla, so I wonder where that comes up, that they think of Camilla as racist. But William and Harry are never going to reconcile if Harry doesn't come forth and correct that wrong about Catherine. Because that implication that she's racist is not great. Now, if she is, then we have another story. But I don't think anybody has ever had anything in the past that would indicate that she is. So I'm thinking that was Harry just... Or she was in the room when they were saying, I wonder how dark the baby's going to be. Somehow I don't know that that's such a terrible thing to say. According to Chris Rock, it's not. I don't know. It wouldn't be bad if the baby were very dark, and it wouldn't be bad if the baby were lighter. It's just a curiosity thing. Unless amongst the Black culture, it's a negative thing to be darker or to be lighter. I don't know. See, this is my ignorance here. I have Black friends, but I've never had a Black friend that had a baby. It's like my friends prior to babies or well after we've had babies. And so the conversation never came up, or the situation never came up. Okay, I gotta keep reading. I'm gonna run out of time. Didn't we end on CBE and KBE? Oh, there it is. Okay. Once Fawcett's letter was exposed by the newspapers, Scotland Yard was compelled to open an investigation of cash for honors, a criminal offense since 1925. Charles's fate depended on Fawcett denying that the prince was aware of his written offer. In the midst of Charles's crisis, Harry aimed a blow at his father. He released emails showing that unlike Charles, he had broken his own relationship with the Saudi businessman. In 2014, Mahfouz had promised £1 million to Harry's charity, Centiball. After Harry had offered his thanks, Mahfouz's representative stipulated that as a precondition of the gift, Harry should visit the businessman and his family in Saudi Arabia. On Harry's behalf, the invitation to visit Saudi Arabia was rejected as a questionable offer of cash for access. There was no further communication. Charles had done the opposite. Adding to Charles' predicament, Harry highlighted his concern about his father's conduct. Well, good on Harry. He's doing the right thing here. Charles is not looking so good in this story. That discomforting news broke in the same week as Prince Andrew agreed to pay off Virginia Guffrey, the American woman who had accused him of sexual abuse when she was an underage girl of 17. The multi-million-pound settlement avoided a devastating trial in a New York court. The curse of Jeffrey Epstein was very damaging. Andrew was instantly stripped of his honors and public positions, banned from public life, and permanently relegated to the shadows. I paused because I was just thinking there's so much to say here. He's currently arrested, isn't he? I think he's under arrest. I know he was questioned for like a whole day and then he was released, but I do believe I recently heard that they arrested him. Now, he's not convicted of anything yet. And he was arrested not on this child ring stuff, but on like selling of secrets and all that. Like it's connected with the whole Epstein situation though. Kind of like, I'll come to the island and you provide me some pretty girls and I'll tell you some secrets that I know about the royal family or about the government in England and all that you can then use to blackmail people in America or to whatever, to financial gain is what this man wants in the end. Well, he's now passed because he hung himself, I believe, or they said he hung himself. I don't know. One of these days we'll all be in heaven. We'll know all the answers. No, we won't. We won't care. All right. Where are we? In combination, all those embarrassments disestablished the monarchy's reputation as the Queen's health noticeably deteriorated. Just as Charles feared, Harry might not support his own and Camilla's ascension to the throne. Camilla, he suspected, would be cited in Harry's memoir as a reason for the couple to turn away from Britain. Under Meghan's influence, Harry had embraced America's toxic political battle about race as a platform for his wife's and his own advancement. Sad. Through assiduous networking, Meghan had forged relationships with Black America leaders. Few were more controversial than the lawyer and Brandeis professor Anita Hill. She had unsuccessfully sought in 1991 to prevent the Black conservative Clarence Thomas from being appointed as a Supreme Court judge. 31 years later, Meghan featured in Hill's welcome for somebody's nomination as the first Black woman to the Supreme Court. Okay, I just can't pronounce her name. Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination as the first Black Supreme Court. Okay. In her article, Hill referred to another Black woman of stature and credential, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Okay. Citing Meghan at length, Hill described the Duchess as a historic figure in Black women's empowerment. She was never identified as Black until she married into the. She was like almost 40 before she. Okay. All right. Whatever. That's fine. The civil rights. I mean, the sad part about it is I would totally look the other way and accept the fact she wasn't such an awful person. I would love the fact that we would have somebody who's biracial that is, I just think it would be the greatest thing in the world. And I would probably look the other way at the fact that she never considered herself Black her entire life. But she is who she is, and it taints me. All right. Quote, "The civil rights history of tomorrow is being written today," Hill declared. In the context of Black women's achievements, attested Hill, Meghan was written into the history books. But yeah, will she be? I don't know. Meghan represented, quote, "a fabric woven into the entire chronicle of the American story," end quote. I would not put it past Meghan that she decided, I'm going to embrace the Blacks, because she is half Black, the Black side of my family, and run with it and call myself Black because of my standing and where I am. And now I can start saying, I was the first Black woman too. I was the first Black woman too. And so she tries to now get in with her connections to do all these different things, such as this one here. She's known as, what are they going to refer to her as now? Meghan was written into the history books. Wow, it just said in the context of Black women's achievements. What is her achievement? That she landed a prince? I don't know. What has she done? It was no coincidence that Hill's elevation of Meghan as a political champion of Black Americans was published simultaneously with the Sussexes making a star appearance at the 53rd NAACP Image Awards in Beverly Hills. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, established in 1909, is America's largest civil rights organization. In the theatrical relaunch of Meghan, the couple were noticeably accompanied to the ceremony by Doria, Meghan's mother. Just before walking onto the stage in a shimmering blue outfit, British newspapers revealed that Meghan's approval rating had fallen to 8%. Ugh, that's rough. Harry's rating was merely 13%. Well, people don't like them. Their appearance at the awards was part of a deal negotiated by Meghan's staff. The NAACP's President's Award was given to the Sussexes in recognition for their distinguished public service and philanthropic contributions. But people get awards just for giving money for doing like the right thing. Aren't you supposed to be, isn't it in a say in the Bible that it's better to give without anyone knowing? It's like they live in a different world. It's the absolute opposite. Then again, they never claimed to really follow the Bible, I guess. So, I mean, Meghan was raised in Catholic schools her whole life, but previous recipients of the award included Muhammad Ali, Jesse Jackson, Colin Powell, and Rihanna. Meghan's achievement looked impressive until the organization announced at the same ceremony a new NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award worth $100,000. The recipients would be recognized for inspiring the next generation of activists. So, okay. Do I understand this correctly? Are they saying that Meghan won this award because she donated money and is giving a yearly $100,000? She probably donated a big lump sum of money just to the NAACP, but then is giving $100,000 every year for this new award. So is that the implication? So therefore she won that award because now she created another award that now at this NAACP awards, they're going to give out the NAACP Archwell Digital Civil Rights Award. Why digital? For recognized for inspiring the next generation of activists. Why is it a digital award? I'm so confused. We're almost done. The first person to be acknowledged was Sophia Noble, the UCLA professor already financed by Archwell to study how digital technologies intersect with culture, race, and gender. The publicity for the event was organized by Sunshine Sachs, Meghan's agent. Just as Jose Andres, the chef who nominated the Sussexes to be Time Magazine's icon, had himself received $25,000 from Archwell. Isn't that funny? The person who recommended them received $25,000, and now this other person is receiving money. Does it say how much? No, it just said that she's already financed by the Archwell Foundation to do this research. Okay. The Sussexes charity had promoted the couple and their cause with the NAACP. Okay, transactional arrangements to promote the Sussexes were questionable and possibly contrary to the Internal Revenue Code. The IRS is coming to knock on your door. Okay. There were legal limits of giving financial help to an individual associated with a charity, and the source of the $100,000 was inexplicable. In its first year's account, Archwell had raised less than $50,000. Oh. So where did this $100,000 come from? Inquiring minds want to know. The charity's finances remain shrouded in mystery. Oh, right, because they set up the foundation in the one state in Vermont, on the opposite side of the country, over 3,000 miles away in some tiny little state that they'd never been to before. That's where they established their organization because the books can all be hidden in that state. Isn't that crazy? The charity's finances remain shrouded in mystery, but its prime purpose is clear: publicizing the Sussexes. Yeah, a charity to promote themselves. They are crazy. All right, let's see. Next week, 43 is longer. Oh, that is the last chapter. I think we'll be able to get through the whole thing next week. All right. Because the whole rest of this is all endnotes and index and citations. There's one page of acknowledgments at the end, but I don't know if it's just going to be, if it's going to be him just naming a bunch of people again, kind of like the whole book is. I pray that he uses a little bit more user-friendly. It's not going to happen, but I would love it if he had just like an easier way, an easier read, you know, like you would speak, like it would roll off your tongue. His writing doesn't roll off your tongue. Well, it doesn't roll off my tongue. And part of it is he uses British words. Part of it is he uses English words that we have, but they're spelled different in Britain. So it just makes my brain pause for a second when I see it because it looks like it's a typo and it's not. Part of it is he uses very big words often. Don't understand that. And part of it is that he starts sentences and then stops and mentions something else and then comes back and finishes the sentence. Which is a way that often people speak, but rarely people write. And it's really hard to read out loud because unless you know it's happening ahead of time, it just makes the sentence a little bit confusing. Okay, nothing like me making excuses for my lame way of reading to you, but my apologies for it not being that flowy as I read. But we'll be back next week, and I will be home next week. So barring a baby coming, I mean, now we're on countdown time at this point. It's March. Today's March 1st. I didn't even realize it was March 1st. Yes. 2 weeks until the due date. So literally, I could drive home on Tuesday and then get a phone call on Wednesday that she's going into the hospital and like turn around and drive back. We don't know. But the plan is I will be home next week. And so we will read our final chapter together. All right. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Harry published texts with Catherine in his book. Oh, he did? Like in his real book, Michelle? Or just in the one that got published in Dutch? In another language he didn't understand, so he didn't know how it all got changed. It's so dumb. Scobie. Andrew is a problem. Andrew is a big problem. And it's sounding more and more like so is Fergie, which I guess all of you over there in London already knew, because some of you have said here in the chat, oh, she's just as bad. And I'm like, oh, she's just this like jovial little freckled redhead. She's a piece of work, honestly. They thought he would flee, so they arrested him. Yeah. At 8 o'clock in the morning. I heard on the newscast, they're like, just shocked that they would do this on his birthday. Do you think the police knew or cared? It was his birthday. Are you joking? I laughed out loud when I heard that. This was all planned and disgusting that they did this to him on his birthday. I do believe, I'm certain that before the police go out to arrest somebody, they pause and go, wait, let's make sure it's not an anniversary or a birthday. Because if so, we'll just wait 24 to 48 hours. That's unbelievable. Okay. Andrew was a trade envoy and gave financial info to Epstein. It's going to get nasty, I think. I heard that in passing. Like somebody was talking about it. It wasn't a news broadcast, but somebody was talking about it. And they're like, can you believe? And for him to have the arrogance to say, you don't know who I am. I'm the son of the queen. You can't do this to me. I'm like, did he really say that? Do they not have body cams that they can release that? Because that would just be priceless. They really should. I mean, if it got out that he said it, then obviously they're sharing that kind of information. So, whoever writes the book, I do know that there's a couple other books that are coming out now too that are, one is I think just on the life of Andrew, and somebody was reading or interviewing him. I heard this the other day. I've been assembling so much furniture and in the car so much, driving all around frickin' Nashville, picking up people's furniture and other household items and decorations and you name it, bedding, whatever, silverware, plates, everything. So I've heard a lot of things, but my phone will just go to like the next thing automatically. So I don't often know who it is, but somebody was interviewing two guys. Both guys were writing books on Andrew. One was definitely just on Andrew. I don't know if the other one was just on Andrew or if it was like on the royal family and Andrew was a part of it. And I remember both of them saying that they've held up the publication of it just because of everything going on now. Like they feel like, I'm not quite sure if it's ready to go out yet. But then they also were like, it just seems like this could keep rolling out for another year or so. So maybe you do just cut the ties and publish it. It was like, they're in a quandary. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. But this was fun. I appreciate you people. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. And I think I did that outro. Yeah, I did the outro for the intro. So we're going to do the intro for the outro. There you go. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, Janice, I'll see you later too. You're welcome. Until next week. Bye, friends.
though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
But wait, there's more.
The conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title. And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Hold up. Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
there's several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
it. With Harry.
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Oprah, they're so racist. That's not racist. Because even black people want to know how brown the baby gonna be.
That conversation I'm never going to share.
Ooh, this is uncomfortable.
We'll talk when we get home.